so excited that you've taken time out to come and join us today because we know we're in the throes of the Christmas and other holidays. And so, thank you. Dr. Keel's prepared some really great information for us for today. And if you don't know him, which I think everybody does, so I'll just say something quick. He is a generous heart and someone who is on a mission to make sure that people know that pretty much there is a way out of illness and distress with a whole food, plant-based diet and lifestyle, and the other six pillars of lifestyle medicine. And if you have not read his book or heard his story on audio, I highly recommend you doing that because it is one of the best reads that I have read in a while. Short read, very lively, full of great information, science, and the facts. And it's something that after reading, you may want to gift to someone to read themselves because it's just that good. And while I am a little biased, I'm speaking truth. The book is good. So, with that said, thank you, Dr. Keel, for spending this time with us. We're here to learn, and I'm turning it over to you.
Thank you, Lynn. As always, thank you for those kind remarks and your generous introduction. This is the holiday season. We are all wondering as to how we are going to get through. We got through Thanksgiving. Some of us have anxiety, fear as to what is going to happen. And all these are natural, it's biological. It's not something that happens to just a very few of us, it happens to a lot of us. The most important thing is that how we handle these stressors. I am no, I want to make a disclaimer over here. I'm not an expert on this last three pillars of lifestyle medicine. Yeah, I know exercise, sleep, nutrition, but this is something that I am battling just like all of us. So if I am coming around and saying something, it does not mean that I have mastered that. It only means that I'm aware of it
Mhm,
because everything starts with being aware.
mhm.
Once you're aware, you know that you can now do something about it. So, having said that, let me go to my slides and explain a few things in
You.
detail. Okay, so what we have is stress and anxiety affect all of us at some point in life. So we have to understand what is happening to your body and your brain, and what we can do to manage the stress in a healthy, practical way. I am not asking people to eliminate stress, but asking people learning how to respond to it. You know, a lot of people turn around anxiety. I'm anxious. What do I do? Why am I anxious? But anxiety is fear or worry when there is no immediate danger. If a car is about to hit you or someone is about to snatch your purse, you get fearful. This fear is appropriate. But anxiety happens when the mind imagines a threat. There is no real threat, and the body reacts to it as if the threat is real. This is not weakness, folks. This is biology.
Mhm.
So, what are the common sources of stress? See, a person once told me that four, the 4 Ds of stress, the 4 Ds of stress are what? When you are in debt, when you are diseased, when you have disease, when you're undergoing a divorce, and death. If you summarize this, these are the 4 main factors, but other stressors also can come on. You, the stress can be an internal stress with yourself, what you feel about yourself, how you're going to react, or it can be a stress from somewhere else, from your people that you work with, in your work environment, in your relationship environment. So all these stresses somehow are there, which are unavoidable. The issue is not having stress. It's living in a constant state of stress without recovery. So some people will always say, oh my God, I have to go in the morning to work. Oh, I had this problem and I'm going to have this problem again. So they go into the whole day with a problem, come back home, it's a relaxed mode, then again the next day. So what happens? That that stress that started with an acute form, maybe a fight with the boss or with a colleague, is now turning into a chronic. So, at this point, I would like people to understand, which I will talk a little bit later too, is acute stress and chronic stress. We have what is called as an autonomic nervous system in our body, which is divided into a sympathetic and parasympathetic. Now, sympathetic is when you are ready. That is what we call the fight or flight response. Again, coming back to the same analogy, you are being about to hit with a car or somebody trying to rob you. What happens? Your heart rate increases, your blood pressure increases, your respiratory rate increases. You are in a fight or a flight mode. But once this is over, the good parasympathetic is waiting. And this parasympathetic takes over, now turns you into calm recovery state. That means your blood pressure, your heart rate, everything comes back to normal. And this is a good response. Whether you ran away from the thief or the robber, or whether you fought, whatever it may be, once that episode is over, then you are in your recovery stage. Now, just to let you understand, this thing is causing, this sympathetic is causing your blood pressure, your heart rate, your respiratory rate increase. So if this continues now every single day for a few minutes at first, then in hours, then the whole day, then you get into a chronic stress. And this chronicity is the one which harms you, not the acute stress. So, we have now a certain amount of stress, like I told you about having an acute stress, but there are a certain amount of feeling stressful can help you. Say you go into for an interview. Say you're giving an exam. There is your heart racing a little bit. That is a good part of stress. It prepares you for the unknown. You're going to speak at a large gathering. You have a certain amount of stress that prepares you. That is good. But as I said, chronicity makes it not worthwhile. So, how stress shows up? You see, stress does not just affect your mood, it affects your memory, it affects your focus and behavior. And there are many physical symptoms like your headaches, your neck pain, your fatigue, your changes in appetite. These are often stress related, even when people don't realize it. Mental and emotional, sometimes when people are stressed, they get snappy, they're overwhelmed, they get forgetful, distracted, avoid important things. Sometimes people I've seen go into crying spells because they can't handle that stress. So we talked about the built-in survival system, which helps us in emergencies, the fight and the flight response. But once it goes into chronicity, then you start getting the shallow breathing always. Your muscles are tight always. Your digestion is poor. Your lower immunity, a little bit of sneeze somewhere and you get a cold. And overall, your memory declines. Now, constant activation of the short burst of fight or flight is what is causing tension and exhaustion. So when stress becomes chronic, what happens? We have a hormone, cortisol, which now is elevated in the body. So your body is never fully relaxed. You're always there, but you're not in a relaxed mode. You're up in the edge. I'm here, but I'm constantly in a state of anxiety and stress. Over time, over time, this leads to more fear, mental fog, emotional reactivity, and lower resilience. So overall, it then becomes less clarity and less resilience. Now, important thing, these are recent studies that have been done that stress in the brain, the stress activates the HPA axis, the hypothalamus, which is in your brain, the pituitary, and the adrenal glands. So what happens is your cortisol increases. Cortisol overstimulates the amygdala in the brain, which is a center for your fear and anxiety. At the same time, it suppresses the hippocampus in your temporal lobe, which is very important for learning and memory. So it suppresses that. So your memory is gone, your learning is gone, you're fearful, you're anxious. Chronic stress literally changes how the brain functions. Now, if you think about the cortisol that is now increased in your body. Apart from the brain, what does cortisol do? It sort of increases your appetite. Even for a short duration, if some of you have taken cortisone, you see the next few days you eat a little more. But if you're in a constant chronic stress with the cortisone, then it makes you eat and eat. Then it makes you go into overweight, obesity. Now the cortisol increases your blood pressure, your blood sugar. So it is a cascade effect on your body, mind, with the increase in cortisol. So we have talked a lot about stress right now. So how do you manage stress? You know, what these strategies do is they calm the nervous system. Exercise and movement, meditation and yoga, music and humor. Don't underestimate humor. Pets can really help you in being out in the nature. Social connection is also very important. Actually, they say movement lowers cortisol. Meditation and yoga quieten the stress response. Music, laughter, pets, and nature all signal safety to the brain. You can do a lot of things during this period now that we have the festive occasion. Plan ahead, budgeting, leaving earlier from work, being proactive, try to solve other people's problems in their anxious moments so that you are left with less. And just try to reduce your preventable stress, the stress that can be prevented. Now, it can eventually, chronic stress can cause poorer overall quality of life, decreased job and school performance, and mental and physical health issues occur. So we go on to, so you have to have a new relationship with anxiety. As I said before, acknowledge anxiety. Don't fight your emotions. One of the biggest mistakes we make is fighting our emotions. Instead, acknowledge it without being judgmental. Observe it. Thoughts that come into your mind are not necessarily facts. When you say, I notice anxiety is present, you create a space. And that space now gives you control over that thought. So shift from I am anxious to I notice anxiety is present. That should help you quite a lot. And this, then you do meditation, mindful meditation. This is what happens when you are not really saying that I am anxious now, but I notice that there is anxiety present. So, what happens? The one big thing that I have noticed when I am anxious, when I am about to give a talk to a large audience, when I am having some kind of a problem, is a simple breathing exercise. Trust me on this, folks. If you just set yourself away for about 2 or 3 minutes and do a slow breathing with breathe in and breathe out with a longer exhalation, this immediately sends a powerful message to the brain that you are safe. And this can turn off that anxiety response in real time. So all you have to do is go in there, breathe in deep, and then breathe out slowly but a little longer than you breathe in. And therefore, I am going to, my day is full today. I have an LPA session with the American Heart Association after this. And then at 7 o'clock with the PBNSD plant-based nutritional support group, I'm giving a talk on pranayama. Pranayama simply means control of the breath, the, the simplest form definition. But modern science shows it is much more than that. It's a slow, rhythmic breathing that activates what? The parasympathetic nervous system, the body's natural relaxation response. Think about it. We talked about sympathetic, and then we talked about the parasympathetic, which is in the relaxation. So that reduces your heart rate, lowers your blood pressure, calms the stress centers of the brain, especially in your amygdala where the fear centers are there. Studies show that just a few minutes of controlled breathing improves oxygen delivery, increases heart rate variability, that gives you more resilience and reduces anxiety. For many people, pranayama becomes a fast, reliable way to shift from the chronic fight or flight to rest and repair. What does this encompass? It does benefit better sleep, improve focus, reduce inflammation, and greater emotional stability. So that is our fourth pillar of lifestyle medicine, stress. Of course, there are a lot of people who have written a lot of things on stress that this should start you on as to how to deal with this holiday season and then keep it in your regular, the breathing exercises, the meditation, the nature, keeping pets, all these things would definitely help you. Shall we go on to the next? Substance use. Why does this matter? Alcohol, drugs, and nicotine. What they do to the body and brain. You have substances like alcohol, your prescription and street drugs, nicotine, these are all common, and not the street drugs, but alcohol, prescription drugs, and nicotine are common and socially accepted. Because they're familiar, we often underestimate their effects. So, especially research has been done, especially on alcohol, fentanyl, and nicotine crisis. Now, fentanyl, everybody knows what a disaster effect it has had on our young population in this country. So, what is, first of all, let's talk about alcohol. Now, alcohol, if you ask people, if you see movies, any show, you will always have, in some form or the other, somebody drinking alcohol. Glass of red wine, this. There were a lot of studies initially done that it increases your HDL, it helps you with your heart and whatnot. As far as I'm concerned, or as far as science is concerned, alcohol does no good for your physical well being, health wise, period. Now, if you ask me, recent research studies have been done. It does increase your HDL, but no proven health benefit. Now, this is, it is, what it does is it disrupts your sleep and your mood. And I don't mind giving my own example. At one time, I used to have one single glass of uh, what was it? It was a kind of a single malt whiskey that I used to have every evening at 5. I did not realize this, but I used to have very little sleep. The day I gave it up, my sleep pattern is a lot better because what alcohol does, it disrupts, if you heard my sleep talks, it disrupts your REM sleep, the rapid eye movement sleep, or your dream sleep. So you get fractured dream sleep, whereby you get up, you can't go back to sleep, you get up, can't go back, you get a dream, you go back. This is what alcohol does and did to me. And if you're on the basis of a regular, then you raise your blood pressure. And it is undoubtedly proven now that it increases your cancer risk, especially breast cancer in women. Just recent studies. And so, even one drink is the strongest finding in recent research. One drink per day increases breast cancer risk. What it does, it affects the hormones. It increases your estrogen, and then the DNA, because of the acetaldehyde in the alcohol, it damages your DNA. So there is no clear, safe level, especially for women. And this message is not widely known, and we have to do something about it because it does increase breast cancer, irrespective of what anybody else has to say. We talked about fentanyl. Why is it so potent and why is it so dangerous? Because it enters the brain very quickly and powerfully. Many people are exposed unintentionally. Wow! Through counterfeit pills or mixed drugs. So, it's very easy to get addicted. You get severe withdrawal symptoms. And as I said, extremely potent. Now you have got prescription. We are not talking about street drugs like cocaine and heroin, but even prescription narcotics, your hydrocodone, your oxycodone, all these pain medications I have seen in my patients, they've been taking it for years and years on. And what happens? I've seen people take sleep meds, anxiolytics, that they take, and now they keep on taking it every single night and increase their doses because the threshold of now the drug not being effective, and therefore you have to increase the drug. It's a danger of intentional or accidental suicide. It's a danger of being groggy all the time, danger of driving the car. There are so many ill effects, even to prescription drugs, narcotics, especially pain medication. Why would some doctor prescribe a narcotic for an ankle sprain? At the most you have to do is take some Tylenol or an anti-inflammatory like your Motrin or ibuprofen. Your back surgery, you put onto medication, narcotics, you go on, and that becomes a routine for you. Of course, these are not bad intentions by doctors, but it's a system-wide pressures. But the consequences are devastating because why are there so many prescriptions? Because at one time in the 1980s, if I'm not mistaken, we had the vital signs of your pulse, your respiratory rate, your blood pressure. And then they put pain as a fifth vital sign. So now you are to concentrate and somehow remove this pain. But your body has a lot of inside mechanisms to fight this pain. And then you have a lot of other antioxidant, anti inflammatories in your food that can fight the pain. And then you have physical therapy, therapists, your psychotherapists, all these can help you with your pain and discomfort rather than being the first thing of taking a pain medication or for that matter a sleep medication, for that matter an anxiety medication or a stress medication. Now good news is that cigarette smoking is down. But the bad news is that nicotine addiction persists. You see, vaping has taken over. If you notice in this, is vaping. This has gone down, this has increased. And the vaping in younger people that they use that so often is has nicotine, which affects your heart, your blood pressure increases, your problems in your lungs, your blood vessels, and it starts at young and it is very hard to undo. Very highly addictive is nicotine. And now what we are doing is instead of cigarette smoking, we are vaping. So to speak, we are jumping from the frying pan into the fire. So the take home message is alcohol is not a health supplement. Take that, erase it from your mind. It is not a health supplement. Having said that, if someone is going to have a toast at a wedding ceremony, at an anniversary, at a birthday party, I am not going to be a judge. That to me seems to be in an individual's uh, circumstances. Cancer risk matters with alcohol. Remember that. It is extremely important for women to realize even one drink can cause a day, can cause this. And remember, today's drugs are far more dangerous with the mixing of other ingredients. And nicotine, whether it is by cigarette smoking or chewing tobacco or vaping, is still nicotine addiction. And so we come to the final pillar of our lifestyle medicine, social connectedness, which is a pillar of longevity. It's one of the six pillars. Now, when we think about health, we think about food, exercise, sleep, but strong social connection is just as essential. Research now shows that chronic loneliness increases the risk of heart disease, depression, dementia, and early death, on par, the same level with smoking and obesity. And that we have now shown research that after the COVID, Americans are 30% more lonelier than before. Social support is not optional, it is a biological necessity. So we come to the blue zones. World's longest living communities share a few things. And what we have is where people routinely live in the 90s and hundreds. Social connection is woven into everyday life. Understand this, woven into everyday life. People eat together, walk together, pray together, and care for one another. We don't have to make appointments to go out for dinner. We don't have to make appointments to play a game of tennis. So it is woven, which is very difficult in the society that we live in. And so they take care of one another. There's a deep sense of belonging. See, here, when we are together too, what happens? We are physically together, but we are not together because each one is on his phone or his tablet or is doing something, playing a game or answering messages, but you're still in a crowd of people that you know. In these cultures of the blue zones, no one is left to age or suffer alone. And that matters more than we ever realize. So now, what happens is that uh, a study looking at adults aged 70 to 90 found that those who engage in a higher number of enjoyable social interactions showed better cognitive function. This was true both on the date of socializing and the following day. See, turn around, watch a comedy show, movie, live session with your support system, play a funny game, or simply spend together. I mean, fool around, do something stupid, so what? But do it together. And then you have, and these were the ones which are in Okinawa, Sardinia, and Icaria, Nicoya, and in our own country, Loma Linda, which are the blue zones. And finally, what we have is social connection works because what does it do? It stimulates your parasympathetic. It calms the nervous system. It pulls us out of that fight or flight or the sympathetic system. When we move together, walk together, pickleball, dancing, or think together through games like chess or mahjong, we protect both the heart and the brain. That is why I sometimes tell people that if you're going to do something like running or something with people, do something like a game where you have to use your brain as to where to put the ball, how to put the ball, and that helps your brain too. So, this is medicine. Social connectedness, robust social support is medicine. You can't prescribe in a pill, but it may be one of the most powerful forms of prevention we have. So, what we have is, in short, exercise strengthens the heart, connection heals the nervous system, we live longer, better, and together. With that, I end. I will stop my sharing and I'm ready for questions and answers.
Wow, thank you for that. We are going to be in gallery view, and if you have any questions, let's just unmute yourself and go ahead and start getting them asked so we can get some answers.
I don't have a question as much as just, to um, amplify what you said, because those measures that we can do, um, they really do help calm the anxiety. And really, even just I've recently heard about a little phrase that's very, very helpful. I think it's Robbins, who is she writes like self-help books or something. I can't remember her first name, but anyway, oh, Mel Robbins, yeah. But she has this. She wrote a book, and it's called "Let Them." But it's a very, when you think about it, let them, it's a very spiritual kind of orientation to whatever it is. If they didn't invite you, let them. If they said something to hurt you, let them. It's even better than saying, ignore them or forget it or whatever. It's sort of like, folding your hands and saying, it's okay. Let them be who they are, and it's okay. And maybe we choose not to spend a lot of time around somebody like that, but we can have this orientation that really helps us not uh, tap into the fight or flight and think about, things to say or how to react or things like that. So it's been very helpful. The other thing that I have found is that I recently went through chemotherapy. I'm well now and everything is good. But when I was in tough times, I would look out at the trees. I would always make sure that I was someplace where I could look at trees and just look at nature. If it was a tough treatment or whatever. And it really does help. Nature is like a balm for us, a BALM, a balm. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
So.
Jen, I would like to add, let them is superb. That's a word I'm going to follow. That's the two
Isn't
words,
it great?
very important. You just let them.
Yeah, let them. And it releases them and it releases you.
It does not affect you. And you
Right,
said them.
right, right, right. Yeah.
Superb, superb. I shall always remember that and nature, of course. I hope, Jan, you're doing better. All
Oh, I'm doing great. And look, I even have hair. I have a little
Yes.
hair.
I could
Yeah,
not recognize you initially, immediately, because the last time I'd seen you with
right. Yeah, I always had my cap. Yeah.
you
No,
was there for our talk.
yes, uh-huh. Yes, I was
Yeah,
there at the
at the
Green Fair.
restaurant.
Yes, uh-huh. Yeah, yeah, it was lovely to see you. So thank you. Yes, I'm doing great. The last scan was good. I don't have another scan until around April, I think it is, March or April. But I'm feeling good and I'm getting a lot stronger. So thank you
Right.
for asking.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah.
And
You will, one day at a time.
That's right. That is so true. It is so true. Yeah. And, it may not show up, your efforts may not show up like right away, but then all of a sudden you take a leap. It's like, wow, look, I can do this or I can do that. So the consistency day to day, like you say, each, one day at a time is really important. Yeah.
and we underestimate the power of love and laughter. So I always end up my certain sessions by laugh loud,
Yes.
love lots,
Oh,
live large.
oh, would you be able to please say it again?
Laugh loud, love lots, live large.
Oh, beautiful. Well, see, now with that and let them, we are armed.
Yes, it's true.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
Jen, you will be happy to know that the script has been already written about that movie, and we are trying to figure out the producers and all that. I'll keep you in the loop
Oh, very good. Thank you. Oh, I'm excited for that. I'm excited for you.
because you asked me the last time.
Yes, I did. Yes, yeah. And I wanted to amplify again what Valen said about your book. I did read it, and it's a page turner. It's really, I am so impressed that you went through all that. And of course, your wife was right there beside you, right? Cheering you
Shanta.
on, right? Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, she's my sanity.
No, we are each other's sanity.
Yeah, that's
You can
perfect.
drive each other mad, but at the same time,
That's right. That's right. You got it. Love, how did you say love?
Laugh
Say that.
loud,
Love,
Laugh loud.
love lots,
love lots. Yeah, laugh loud
love lots, and live large.
and live large. Yeah, very good. That's a beautiful summary. Yeah.
Anybody has got anything else? Any question? Whatever, Dorothy or
Aisha. Mm-hmm.
Aisha, any questions? Okay, so what we will do is,
So I have a question. I had a
sure,
question
sure.
come in. Um, when you, because the holidays are when we gather with others, and they're inevitably, whether you take your own food to the gathering, or, somebody knows that you are on this plant-based journey. And there's always somebody who is I'll call them a food pusher, somebody that just have a little bit of this, or have some of that, or, whatever. Um, what is, and that can create a lot of stress. I've known people to say, I'm just not going to go to that family event. And I hear what you're saying about the let them, but even in letting them, what would you give as advice for um, letting them? Do you just walk away? Is there something you can say? Um, and I asked because, for one thing, I saw the question and then I thought about myself. I have that happen to me quite frequently, honestly. Oh, are you not going to have any of that? No. And you know, what 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 do you respond to people to be able to let them?
The first thing is don't stand out as a sore thumb.
Yeah.
A lot of people turn around to do. I am, if you're not asked, but look, I am a plant based. I'm this thing. So, I've come around here. Don't do that. Just mix and mingle. There's always a salad. There's always something around that you pour. The moment people ask you and say, "What have you?" Oh, I just tried it. It was lovely.
Yeah. Yeah.
But don't get into an argument about that is not the right time to tell them the nutritional value of plant-based food. That is not the right time. That is a time to look after yourself that you don't fall into that pit and you don't make a problem for other people not to invite you again. So participate, get into places where people do not have this kind of a forceful attitude. Get into a conversation. Don't get into a conversation on that day about the merits of exercise and food and this. There are times you will have to, but that is not the right time.
Right.
Let people be.
Right.
Let be. So just be around, do your own things, and act as if you enjoyed yourself. That's a white lie. A white lie is okay. Oh, yeah, 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 that is wonderful.
Yeah.
Don't say you have it,
Yeah.
but let it be. That's now, am I right on this? I don't. But this is what I do. But
Yeah.
some people may have different views, and I would love to hear that. But this is what I do.
Yeah. I do. I'm sure other people do. I do take something that I can eat. So I was just talking to my brother and my sister-in-law um, about Christmas, and they're hosting, and she said, "Oh, and I'm making a quiche, but one of them is spinach."
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
And so I said, "Oh, okay." So, so I just make sure that I take something that I can eat. And then, like you're saying, I don't say too much about it. I just try to blend in. And really, I find that people are more interested in what they are eating and what they, rather than what's on my plate. So,
I
yeah.
like that strategy. Turn the conversation back to them
Yeah.
and what's on their plate.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Because if you do start talking, say one person asks you that you're plant-based, can you talk to me a little bit about it?
Mhm.
You not let it go. Just remark, because there'll always be somebody else who's listening to this will come into the conversation. And then the fourth person comes, and it becomes like now you are trying to change people.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
the last thing you want to do.
Uh-huh.
There will be moments in everybody's, all we plant-based people have a moment where we need to talk about the merits of what we eat. But in my opinion, those are not the days.
Mm. Yeah.
Having said that, I wish you all a very, very Merry Christmas
Thank
and a
you.
Thank you.
superb New Year. And I wish to see you all more often. And the next time, what we would do, Lynn, we get a larger crowd in this because this is a festive occasion. Then we ask people to jot down in their own cities the vegan restaurants that they've been to that they like.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Would
Great
be
idea.
nice, so that we can. I have been to some of the nice ones in Atlanta recently, and I thought of that,
Yeah. Nice.
or restaurants that can make you a vegan meal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Or we'll do that. And with that, I would like to end my
And
better
Len,
half.
I want to wish you all the health for 2026.
Oh, the
Thank
same
you.
to you
Same
all
to
too.
you.
Yeah, same to
Yeah.
you. Have a Merry Christmas and enjoy every minute.
Yes. You have
Yes,
just this moment. You don't know about the next one. Enjoy
That,
it.
that's right.
you're right.
That's
You're
right.
right.
Well, I've enjoyed this moment with all of you. Thank you.
Yes,
Same here.
Yeah,
I that is meditation.
it is. It
It is in a
definitely,
moment.
yep, it definitely is. Yeah. So,
Take care, guys. Love all
All
of
right.
love
Thanks,
you.
everybody. We'll see
Bye.
you again in January.
you. Okay.